Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
Absolutely. I've been in e-commerce for several years now. Started like many others, tinkering around, evenings, weekends, and it gradually turned into a full-time gig. This particular business was born from spotting a niche opportunity, really, that just hadn't been fully tapped. We combined good products with attention to customer experience, and things took off from there. It's been great, and we're extremely proud of. We've got a well-managed, but most of all, profitable business that pretty much runs like clockwork today.
Why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
Yeah, it's a great question. And to be honest, it wasn't an easy decision. The business is profitable. It's got solid foundations, but we've reached a point where we want to focus on a new venture. We've been planning for a while now, to be honest. And given its unique nature, it does require significant upfront capital. So I guess you could say we're essentially handing over the keys to someone who's ready to take it to the next level.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
The business, it's lean, it's efficient. I personally spend about 5 to 8 hours a week on it, managing inventory, checking out performance, just keeping an overall eye on the business, really. Day-to-day tasks, they are typically minimal and include monitoring ad performance, checking stock levels, reviewing the feedback manager reviews, account health, all the basic things within the account just to make sure everything's above board. Most of the work with Amazon FBA, most Amazon FBA sellers will tell you it's front-end loaded. So unless you're actively always launching new products, day-to-day tasks are pretty much minimal. Although check daily, I only really optimize PPC campaigns twice a week. We use a special tool in order to do that. But overall, it's a great business for anyone who values flexibility or is running a portfolio.
So if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
Yeah, another great question. I think if I were to keep the business, I'd be focused on both vertical and horizontal growth, really. Vertically, there's a strong potential to expand the product range, adding complementary SKUs, that serve the same customer base and strengthen the current brands within the niches that we sell. Although horizontally, I think that is the biggest opportunity when it comes to expansion, especially in Europe. We've actually spent the last few months getting fully compliant with German regulations, which is no small task, to be honest. But it now positions the business perfectly to scale into Amazon Germany, which, as most people will know, is one of the largest Amazon marketplaces outside of the US. And being ready to go there gives the new owner a serious edge, in my opinion. So yeah, I think whether it's adding SKUs or scaling internationally, there's plenty of scope when it comes to scaling.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
I think, like most e-commerce businesses, you're somewhat at the mercy of the platform that you sell on. That obviously doesn't just apply to Amazon either. That's the same if you're a Shopify store owner and you're running Facebook ads to your Shopify store or Google ads or whatever platform it might be. Even if you're a YouTuber, if the platform says that they no longer want to allow you to sell on there or offer your offerings on there, then unfortunately you have to be dictated by what they say. So I think the biggest risk is sometimes its biggest reason for success a lot of the time. And in this case, I think you could argue that the majority of the revenue is just Amazon driven. But that being said, the foundations are there to diversify should the new owner feel the need to do that. So it has got the ability to pivot should it need to. The products themselves, they're not trendy or seasonal. So that helps with consistency. But yeah, I think like any online business, staying proactive is key.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
When it comes to support, I always think, what would I want from a seller? And this is broadly speaking, because obviously different people have different strengths when it comes to anything, not just business related. But ultimately, I don't think I would be happy until they're comfortable and feel like they have the same level of automation that we currently have. So I think that would be the goal, really. I'm fully aware that in the early stages, there will naturally be a lot of questions during transition, but, that's fine. We genuinely want the next owner to succeed. So I'm happy to do onboarding calls, send video instructions, whatever's required, really, just to make sure that the buyer is confident that they can move forward seamlessly, really.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out agreement?
I prefer a clean exit, so I'm not really looking to do an earn-out. I've built the business to be stable, self-sufficient, and everything a buyer needs to continue growing it is already in place. I'm happy to offer support during the transition, but from a payment perspective, I prefer to keep things straightforward.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why is your business a business worth buying?
Yeah, from a buyer's perspective, this is a really solid, low maintenance Amazon business with consistent performance, real growth potential. The systems are in place, the products have strong demand, the listings are well optimized, good reviews, good ranking history. They're not hype driven or trend based brands. They're built on fundamentals that continue to deliver. I think it's also positioned for easy expansion, as mentioned earlier, especially into European marketplaces. The compliance work like Germany already taken care of. So yeah, if you're looking for a plug and play asset with room to scale and minimal hand holding, then this is it.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll find everything you need to know about this business. So, thanks for joining us. See you next time.